This is Sexy Funny Raw, where we chat all about the world of sex, from dating and relationships all the way to the adult industry itself. I'm Silvia Saige, and this is my Pornspective, answering all the questions you weren't even brave enough to ask Google. Get ready, because Sexy Funny Raw starts now.
Hello, hello. I am Silvia Saige. Welcome back to another episode of Sexy Funny Raw. I am here with my co-host, Dr. Eddie, giving us his public health perspective. Thank you, Dr. Eddie. And in studio this month, I have one of my very good friends, the Brian Moses. There he is. You came on the screen so fast. The creator of Rose Battle, just recently sold, not recently, you sold to Comedy Central years ago, but still doing the Rose Battle on a weekly basis. So yeah, welcome, Brian Moses.
Thank you. We have a league now. Yeah, it's global. Yeah, 12 cities globally, and we battle once a month at Jam in the Van. They live stream it and premiere it, so it'll be fun.
I love it. I can't wait to see that, actually. I love Jam in the Van also.
I do too.
I had done comedy there. I didn't know you guys had teamed up. So
I also love being here for Black History Month.
Yes.
You could have had anybody in the world. You could have had Mr. Marcus, Lexington Steele.
I could have, but I said I want Brian Moses.
Me too.
And we're going to get into...
Me too. Thank you, Doc.
We're going to get into it today. And this is a rather sensitive subject, but one that I definitely think needs to be addressed.
Okay.
And it is a racial concern, or not concern so much as an issue. Again, here we go. I got to be really sensitive. So today we are talking racialized sexual fantasies. And not in the way that you might be expecting. Not talking about necessarily like,
racial play
right. Per se, but we are talking about the base, getting really down to it. So, Dr. Eddie, what do you think that the actual reason for the fantasization of different races?
Well, I don't think it's good news. That's for sure. I think there's a long history from colonialism and before about the exotic other. The exotic other being the beautiful black skin, or like exotic Latin skin, and all of those kinds of tropes are based kind of on a racial history, based on our relationship with colonialism and our relationship with other people.
Right.
And also, you have a media that tells us very specifically what is beautiful and what's supposed to be beautiful, which naturally creates a bunch of problems for our young kids, every gender.
Yeah.
And so if we don't look like everyone on TV, then there's something wrong with us, right? But then on kind of a side note from that is some of us don't even realize that some of our preferences come from those areas, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be like, oh, I like Hispanic women as a white man or an African-American man or black man, right? And so those things could be for very specific reasons, but typically they're kind of founded on like a racist history.
Which is interesting you say that, because I feel like when a lot of people think about their sexual fantasies or their sexual desires, they're not necessarily going, well, I'm racist if I want to only have sex with white people. That's just my preference. Well, not necessarily, because it's so ingrained in our history that you don't even realize what you're doing. So per se, myself, who a white woman, it is a sexual fantasy. I'm a porn actress and I'm put up on this sexual pedestal. But I even know with black actresses in my same field that have been working just as hard as I have, they're a fetish. They're an other category. They're not necessarily even put in with performers of there's a performer of the year category, and then there is a black performer of the year. So they are put in their whole separate subcategory. We even have urban awards for our black brothers and sisters in the porn industry, as opposed to our AVN or XBiz, which is supposed to be all inclusive, but it's not inclusive. And I find it very interesting that, especially talking about the colonization of it, of like the black slaves, and then those white men having a fear that these black men are going to come in with their over-sexualization and take over their women and impregnate their women. And they kind of gave them this like a scary, like these big black men and these big black penises, and just raping our women.
It's funny because didn't they do that? It's almost like they were projecting.
Yes. 110%.
Oh, they're gonna do what we're gonna do. We got to do it first.
Yes. Well, that is almost everything. And sorry, a white man history.
But nobody's really, put so much emphasis on the black dick more than the white man. They've made laws against it and movies for it. They've made money on it from, sexualized porn to laws to if you have sex with a black man, it's either a rape or we're gonna hang you, that kind of a thing. So there is that. So I guess in essence we have been sexually brainwashed to white men can only like white women. We can only we have to just hold them in such high regard, and everything else isn't other. But I guess on the flip side of that is these categories, these people do make money in these categories, right? I remember a few years ago, an actress who's an adult was saying that. She's like, I remember trans girls were kind of coming out against hey, don't, stick up for us without talking to us about it, because you're taking away some of these buzzwords that we make money on, right? Some things that you can't say today, but things that they were making money on, these buzzwords. And then, white women and white men got rid of these categories at Avian, kind of a thing. So when you talk about there's urban awards, it's because they have to. We recently went to some awards and who won?
Yeah,
it was all white people. And then the big thing was Kira Noir won Avian Female Performer of the Year, and she had been the first black woman to ever do that.
Yeah,
that's insane to have a black president in the United States where you have a black female performer and then you guys want to recognize her, then say that. That's insanely disrespectful. We understand the history of it, and you don't want to disrespect Kira and what that means to her.
Yeah.
But it's also damn, really? We're in 2022 and we've never had that, and Avian's been around for 40-something years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's just there's a gift and a curse to it, right? Because then we start talking about we got to get rid of these urban awards because we're upsetting black people. Are you talking to the black people about it?
Right.
If you really be inclusive, just have them win.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Make it a part of just being with everyone else and not in a subset category.
And honestly, sex is a taboo thing, and it's always been a taboo thing to humans, right? It's always you got to take it away. So ultimately, if you're going to have these sexual thoughts, you may be sexually racist, but you can't actually condemn thought. And if we're already brainwashed, we're already kind of here already. And these people are, if we're ultimately talking about it, you're taking away body shaming issues because you have BBW, you have pregnant porn, you have tentacle porn, you have hentai porn. You have all these taboos that you can lock into just if you're sexually racist or you're weird or whatever is going to get you off sexually, and that way you're not going to harm anybody. You kind of have to applaud it a little bit, but you do have to have that other side to be hey, you can't really have that, because then you are subscribing to these cartoons or these caricatures of these tropes.
Yeah.
And I understand it, but it's also people are making some money on some of these markets we've created.
But just because you're making money doesn't mean it's not violent to.
You're right.
Violent in a different way, right?
There are prisons, there are private prisons. I guess I can't make money on everything.
Yeah.
Well, but so what's more? Well, I guess that's a different conversation. But what's more important, capitalism or
correct,
health for all, love for all, a community of.
No, that right.
So racial fantasies, of course, what we are discussing is definitely different from racial play, which is a subset, of course, in pornography, where, they are saying derogatory names, maybe use an N-word towards a black person, or, a lot of small dick shaming towards an Asian culture, basically just kind of reiterating stereotypes and diving back down those lines. But we do want to make sure that is not necessarily the topic that we are getting into here, and that we are definitely talking about the long-term play as to why we have the sexual preferences per se that we would talk about on say a dating app. The fact that being able to put white only or no Asians or something like that on a dating profile is kind of mind-blowing, that we don't necessarily immediately associate that with racism. Because it's meant to be a preference, right?
Right. And so it's almost a subconscious preference that some people have that don't think about. And I think the value of having these conversations is that maybe some people can think about where they get some of those things. And is it really about the size of the whatever,
Right.
or is it about some stereotype that you have about a specific culture or person?
Or is it strictly about ignorance? Because I will tell you right now, I grew up in the Midwest. I had one black kid in my entire high school, so I wasn't around any other races. I had one Mexican kid, one black kid, but that was it. So I didn't have the interactions with other cultures that I needed to become less of a racist asshole, you know? So honestly, though, because that's what I grew up in. I mean, I went to high school with kids who had fucking Confederate flags waving on their trucks. Like, that was what I was raised in, but I had to unlearn so much of that in my adult life and getting to travel and getting to meet different people. And it really opened my eyes up. So I think a lot of these preferences are because you just don't know anything different. When I came to Los Angeles, one of the first things I did was started fucking black guys and Indian dudes because they existed. Like, they just weren't in where I was from. So I got out to Los Angeles and I was like, oh shit, they make them in all shades. Yeah, let's try these.
New flavors of dick.
Yes, yeah. And I know so many people from my hometown were like, oh, look at her now. You're like, look at her doing this. Like, yes, I am. And I'm so very proud to have expanded my fucking knowledge and my brain and my thought process, you know, and been open to more things. So personally, I just think it's ignorance. But,
Yeah, we're
you know.
humans. We're supposed to survive and adapt.
Yes, and change and learn. Yeah.
Sexual adaptivity, it's called.
Yeah.
And at the bare
Yes.
minimum, why would you want to cut out some of like the most beautiful experiences that you could
Yes.
have with another person?
Yes,
I think that's crazy.
100%.
Yep.
And then, you know, you realize that not all black dicks are big, you know, and you just gotta you gotta break it
Why
down.
do you look at me when you say that? That's insane.
Sorry,
But
Brian.
it's also, I mean,
I
like,
have no idea how big Brian's
we
dick is.
could
just to
say,
throw
I mean,
out there.
there is that John Mayer thing where you're just like, you know, there's that preference of just like, you know, you may be sexually brainwashed through tropes and media and things like that, or you got that, you know, your mother syndrome. It's just like, you better get a Jewish boy, you better only date a Latin boy, you
And you
better
don't
only date a
wanna-
black girl, you know.
And you don't want to disappoint.
And that's what I'm saying too. There is that. Yeah,
that is very true.
like you can't come out the
actually.
closet maybe and like date an other kind of a thing, right?
Sure.
Interesting. I do see that. Yeah.
So there is like there's levels to it. There's sides to it.
Yeah. Again, just some unlearning to do. Honestly. Okay.
By the way, yeah, I didn't say this on the air, but this is so funny to me because I just want to talk to you about it. It was
Yeah.
like Dana told me that she was like, yeah, there's no black MILFs.
No, there aren't.
Really?
No,
And
there
that's-
really aren't. Not a single
That
one of
blew
them.
my mind. I was like, because we don't
Yeah.
think about black moms like that. You think black
Yeah.
mom, you think discipline and like putting in your place.
Yeah.
You don't think
Interesting.
you don't think Jennifer Coolidge.
Interesting.
When you think black mom.
Right.
Can we use that
That's
little clip?
interesting.
Will you?
I mean, we could talk about it, yeah, but it's like that was very funny to me when I learned that. I was like, yeah, I don't think Halle Berry or I don't think like Mama Wanna Bang.
Yeah.
I think like I better get to my room.
Yeah. No, that's accurate.
But that's just because I
though.
know black women.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
black moms.
But that's also how they're kind of portrayed too, right?
Sure.
Like they're over sexualized a little bit, but the black mom isn't over sexualized. Black
Right.
mom is like, you should have. Why is your husband in jail? Kind of a thing.
But also oh my God. But also when I think of a white mom, I think of like a big, heavy set church
There you
mom.
go.
I don't necessarily think of
right.
like,
You don't rip her clothes off.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I know a lot of MILFs, I guess, because
But then again, that's
There's
just
so
saying,
many. Yeah, like the millennial black mom is like Michelle Obama or like Cardi B. Like you want to rip their clothes off.
Yeah.
You can't put this on. I can't have Michelle Obama watching this. She watches everything I do.
I would love to go to dinner with her. She'd be on my list.
I would go to dinner with Michelle Obama.
Oh my gosh,
for
I'd
sure.
love to talk to her.
But that's just it, and that's just exactly what this racial episode is all about. Is that they have like sexualized somehow this white woman category of
Sexual
like
segregation.
Yeah,
a little
we
bit, yeah.
we have grown up into this. Okay, we're aged as mothers, but we're still sexualized even as like the sexy mom or the sexy stepmom.
Yeah.
You know, but you're right. Black women are definitely not.
Black women, Latin women, Arab women, every
Yeah.
woman, Asian woman, we can all,
And they all are in porn, but there
They're all
are
moms,
no,
yeah, but there's no mom.
Yeah, there are no MILF. Even Asian, I can't even think of an Asian
No.
MILF.
That's so
No, but I know,
interesting.
but there's an
Yeah.
ageism with the MILF category. I know that white women hate, but then like there's that thing of like, yeah, but it's just you white girls.
Yeah, so crazy. I mean, I don't hate I hated it in the very beginning when they put me into it day one, and I was like,
Right.
that felt rude. But now I'm fine. fine. I've adjusted. But
That felt rude.
It felt real rude. It felt
You stay here and you
rude.
can't do anything else.
Yeah. They're like, you're going to be the mom. I was like, oh, whatever. It's fine.
Someone called me daddy recently.
You didn't like it?
It ended it for me. Yeah.
Wow. It's like you felt carded, like somebody carded you for the first
I
time.
was like, that's not happening. You could go now.
Yeah. Have a nice day. Do you want me to get you a car? Put your coat on. Yeah. It's raining. Get an umbrella.
Wow. That's a father, not a daddy.
All right.
He
we're
meant
going
it
to.
as father.
Yeah, you did.
We've gone
Padre.
so
Not
far
Papi.
off. Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Brian Moses, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, just check out Roast Battle League. We do it once a month. It's on Jam in the Van TV on YouTube. We also have a YouTube Roast Battle. Just check out anything Roast Battle, guys.
Yes.
Just Google it. You can find it. You can find me there, too.
Easy to find and a good find. Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Dr. Eddie, for all of your advice today as well. And until next time, guys, adios.